Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Heritage Matters. And this is the Friday, 15th August 2025 edition of the program. We have as guests with us today Mr. Lionel Stevens of the Sandy Point Agricultural and Cooperative Society, also called SPACS. So he's come to tell us about what they do and about some events that they have coming up that would be of interest to the general public. Also with us today is Mrs. Tessa Isaac. She's the operations manager at Brimstone Hill Fortress National Park Society. And she today has come to tell us about a very exciting event that's coming up on the Brimstone Hill calendar. It's part of our annual calendar of events, and it's called the Emancipation Festival. So she's going to tell us a bit about that. Good morning, lady and gentlemen.
Good morning, sir, and all those listening in Radio Land.
Wonderful. And I'll start with Miss Isaac. Miss Isaac, tell us about this year's Emancipation Festival. When will it be staged?
Good morning again, everyone in Radio Land. My name is Tessa Isaac. I am the operations manager at Brimstone Hill Society. Each year we stage several outreach programs. And coming up on Sunday the 24th of August, we'll have our Emancipation Festival. And this promises to be very exciting. Seeking your support. The afternoon will start from 3 to 6 p.m. I will just give you a tease of some of the acts that are expected. We're going to have poetry. We're going to have some drumming. We're going to have greats like our local icon Jazzy D. We're going to have a cultural explosion. We're going to have from our Sandy Point area, our star performer who just performed on the music festival. And he was very, very, very exciting. And this would be Mr. Colin Wyatt. And then we have our dancers, Angelique. So we are inviting the general public to come out and support us on the 24th of August, which is a Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m. Also, we'll be featuring some local vendors who will come out and share their crafts with us, persons such as Kevin Burrows with the local juices. Then we have SPACS right out of Sandy Point, and you will hear from SPACS in detail as we continue the program. Then we have Shermel's Natural Touch with her jewelry, and we have a newcomer in the name of Puzzles, and she will be selling some exciting puzzles for adults and children alike. We'll have Mrs. Natoya Vera, and last but not least, Floriels. So please come out on Sunday the 24th and spend a nice afternoon with us at the Brimstone Hill Fortress National Park from 3 to 6 p.m.
Okay, thank you for that opening. Now, we've had this program running for many years. It's a feature on our annual calendar. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like in terms of the ambience and what is expected of persons when they're coming there?
Well, it's a festival-like atmosphere, and persons are free to walk around the grounds and, as I mentioned earlier, patronize the vendors that would be there. And the acts are usually very exciting because we try to use the majority of acts from our local and surrounding communities. So it's usually very festive. Sometimes we find the audience would they just can't sit still. They have to get up and join in the activity, whether by dancing in their seat, near their seats, or they come out in the corridors or on the grounds to, really be part of the festivities. So it's usually very, very exciting.
Yeah, I usually see a lot of dancing going on. People get up and they start to dance when the music hits them. Is there an entrance fee to get there?
Yes. To get in, we have for adults $15 and children 12, and under we pay $10.
And that's EC dollars, right?
EC dollars.
So everybody
yes.
get that?
Yes, sir, EC dollars.
EC dollars.
$15
So it's very
for adults and $10 for children.
right, very cheap for all of this exciting entertainment that we provided. And in terms of access, what I mean is how, if somebody comes in their own vehicle, what are their options? Is there, can they drive straight up and park? We have parking facilities for them.
Yes, we do have parking facilities. We'll have our staff on site to guide the parking for the event.
And what about people who may get a drop to the bottom of the hill by bus?
We will supply.
And
We
need
will
to
have on hand a shuttle for
Uh-huh.
persons who would want to may not want to drive up
Mhm.
and leave their cars at the bottom of the hill, or if they come by bus. But we will have a shuttle at the bottom of the.
Okay, so they can get a drop to the bottom of the hill, catch the shuttle, which will take them up, and at the end of the program, bring them back
Bring
down.
them back down. Yes.
Okay, so there's no problem at all with trying to get access. So don't worry if you don't have your own vehicle. You can come, you can get a drop to the bottom of the hill, get to the shuttle bus, which will be parked under the, what we call the cock and hen tree, the flamboyant tree that's at the base of the hill. And you can wait there until, if it's on the way up, if it's already gone up, you wait until it comes back down. If not, you'll sit and wait until it's ready to move off again, and you will get there. But it's important to be there early.
By 1:30, the buses will start.
The buses will start shuttling people at 1:30. And of course, if you want a nice seat and to be able to be comfortable in terms of not having to hustle and bustle and not miss anything, get there at the bottom for about 1:30 so that you can get shuttled up, because remember, everyone won't fit on one bus. So it will have to make several trips depending on the amount of the crowd. So be there early by 1:30 and be shuttled up. The program does start at 3 p.m. and we plan to start as promptly as possible because we want to finish by an appointed time so that people don't have to come down in the dark. So please make sure that you come early. We can start the program early and get things running and smoothly. There's also, I didn't hear any mention, is there going to be steel pan music?
There will be some steel pan music.
There'll be some steel pan music? Okay.
It will be featuring Tejon Walters. And yes, because our theme, Rhythms of Freedom, so we are going to try and bring a little bit of everything to support that theme.
I like that. Remembering that this annual festival celebrates emancipation, and the theme this year is Rhythms of Freedom. Okay, so it tries to bring in the fact that we're having music and dance and whatnot, celebrating the freedom of our people some time ago. So Rhythms of Freedom, and come on out and celebrate with us for Emancipation Festival 2025. In terms of folklore, is there going to be any
Yes,
folklore?
there will be a cultural explosion, but I will leave that open for you to come and witness. I won't give away all of the secrets.
Okay, so we keep some surprises
Yes.
so that we have them on the edge of their seats. So come on out, you're going to have a cultural explosion. We'll have dance, we'll have poetry, we'll have songs, we'll have calypso, we'll have spoken word, etc., etc. So it's going to be a very exciting program, and we look forward to having the general public supporting the event, be early, get there and enjoy what the festival has to offer. We'll now take a small commercial break as we give our sponsors their due.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
More than 42 million cars from 19 different car companies are being recalled for faulty airbag inflators. Repairs are fast, easy, and free. The problem isn't with the airbag, it's with the airbag inflator. Because the inflator can rupture, shooting shrapnel through the airbag, which can cause serious injury or even death. Don't risk it, fix it.
Please contact TDC Automotive Division to find out if your Toyota vehicle is affected by the Takata airbag recall. Visit or call us at 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis.
Okay, welcome back to Heritage Matters. And we were having a conversation with Mrs. Tessa Isaac of the Brimstone Hill Fortress National Park Society regarding the upcoming Emancipation Festival on Sunday, the 24th August. So it's a wonderful way to spend a nice, relaxing, entertaining Sunday afternoon. So we encourage everyone to come on out on the 24th, on Sunday, the 24th August, and have a nice, relaxing, wonderful ambience afternoon at the amazing Brimstone Hill. Now, one of the things I want to mention or want to find out about is we know normally these kinds of things are usually adult attended. But is this an adults only event?
No, this festival is open to everyone, adults and children.
So it's family oriented.
Family oriented. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, one of our acts I can mention would be the Cotton Thomas drummers, and those are young, very tiny drummers, and they're usually very good. One other mention would be our house band, which is foreplay band. Many of you may know foreplay band. They play every Friday night at the Marriott, and every other Sunday they play at the Shipwreck Bar and Restaurant. So foreplay band would be our house band.
Yeah, a very popular band, plays some really good music. So they'll be the house band. They'll be backing some of the artists, and they'll be providing between artists entertainment. And their own selections also will be featured. So this is the Emancipation Festival. This next Sunday, the 24th of August, at Brimstone Hill. For those who don't have transport, you can come up via shuttle bus, which will be provided for you free of charge. The shuttle will be free, and so it will bring you up and take you back down at the end of the program. For those who have their own transport, you can drive right up, and we'll have assigned parking for you. Okay, so see you all on Sunday. We will encourage anyone who wishes to call into this program to call us at any time. The numbers are 466 0989, 662 0989. And if you're calling from the US or Canada, it's 718 285 6984 or 305 921 4619. So just to repeat those numbers in case you didn't get them: 466 0989 or 662 0989 or 718 285 6984 or 305 921 4619. Please feel free to call and either ask a question or make a comment or some sort of cultural or heritage input. Thank you very much for listening. We now move over to Mr. Lionel Stevens. Mr. Stevens.
Good morning again.
And how do you do today, sir?
I'm giving thanks.
Giving thanks. And I think something we all want and need to do.
Yeah, more often.
Okay, so you are from SPACS.
Yes.
What is SPACS?
Well, I am the president of the Sandy Point Agricultural Cooperative Society, shortened as SPACS, SPACS. Originally known as the Alliance Against Hunger, you know, but they said that didn't sound like a business name, so we had to confirm it, and we ended up with the Sandy Point Agricultural Cooperative Society.
Okay.
But nonetheless, we were established on January 10, 2010. We opened the public market in Sandy Point on the first Saturday in July of 2010. And at that time, we did the traditional market on the Saturdays. But as time grew and production grew, we expanded and we built a roadside stall at the main road where we expanded marketing to Tuesdays to Saturdays. So instead of just the Saturday market, we now operate Tuesdays to Saturdays from the main road from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Saturdays, we have the ITAL that has been a part of us from the inception.
Okay.
Also, since we've been there, we have established and created some signature events, one of which is our annual World Food Day, Food Fair and Agricultural Exhibition, which this year is taking place on the 18th of October, which will be the climax of the Department of Agriculture's week of activities celebrating World Food Day, which is observed on the 16th of October every year. So just want to encourage persons to mark that date on their calendar. It's the annual World Food Day, Food Fair and Agricultural Exhibition, and secondary school cooking competition, which this year is going to be in its fourth stage in the cooking competition, and it seems to be drawing some attention. You know, so far we haven't had a back-to-back winner. The first winner was Charles D. Mills. The second was Barstow High School. And last year we had the Sadler Secondary School coming away with the championship. So we're gearing up for a fierce competition again this year, 18th of October. The location this year, we are coming back into the community, and we are going to be using the Sandy Point hard court to host the event this year. For the past 3 years, we were at Eco Park, and it was real nice, you know. But this year, we want to bring it back into the community. We kind of outgrew the market, so that was the idea for moving to Eco Park with the cooking competition. But we kind of want to bring it home, you know what I mean? So 18th October, Sandy Point Hard Court, starting time 12 p.m., more details to come. Also, since the group has been established, we do our fair share of community service in terms of food donations to the preschools, to the elderly homes, and individual elders in the communities. Also, we have a scholarship program running at the Charles D. Mills Secondary School for many years now, rewarding the best result in agriculture, male and female. So that is our way of encouraging the next generation to strive for excellence in agriculture. Also, last year, we started a Youth in Agriculture summer program where we used 4 Saturdays of the vacation, and we took the kids to the farm, and we basically involved them in the whole process of production, from land preparation, sowing of seeds, transplanting, crop management, harvesting, and finally the marketing, the packaging, how to use a scale, how you go about weighing foods and so forth. So that was last year. We're doing it again this year, which we started last week, and it's going to run every Saturday for the month of August from 3 to 6. We gather at the Sandy Point Market, and then we travel up to the farm where we do the activities. For this year, we are focusing more on plant propagation, which is a skill, and it's a inexpensive business to initiate, but yet it's very profitable. So we are teaching the kids about plant propagation, grafting, cutting, budding, ear layering, and those type of techniques. Also, we like to support. We get a lot of invitations, and we are also a regular part of the upcoming Emancipation Festival organized by the Brimstone Hill Fortress. We are usually there with our ital food. So for those who have never eaten ital, for those who love ital, it's one of the highlights as well as part of the Emancipation Festival. So I encourage one and all to come out on the 24th to the Emancipation Festival at Brimstone Hill. Bring the whole family. Eat your food, but save some room for the ital, and work with some monies to support the vendors, because without the vendors, the event would not be as big as it would be. So apart from the entertainment, there must be other things to occupy and entertain you as well. So it could be something to whet your taste buds. It could be a piece of jewelry for another event, another occasion. So feel free to come out and support the entire festival, the artists, the performers, and the vendors, So, yeah, give thanks.
Great. You talked about a farm. Where's the farm?
Well, most of our farms are established and located.
That's why you call it a cooperative.
In the farms area.
So you have different members who have
we
different farms.
We have different members who have different farms.
Okay.
And we all come together to farm the cooperative.
I see.
Support each other and
so
address
each farmer brings his produce to the marketplace. Brings his produce to the marketplace. Which you all have in Sandy Point.
In Sandy Point.
Where is that located?
It's located at the bottom of Farms Road, right next
aptly
to...
called?
Actually, Farms Road.
That's aptly called?
Yes, Farms Road, right next to National Bank on the Island Main Road.
Oh, okay, because I was just going to say, many of us don't really know Sandy Point,
right?
Like names of streets and so on,
right.
So we need some guidance there.
Yeah, National Bank is a hallmark place in the community.
On the main road.
On the main road.
Yeah.
So if you're traveling from Bastia to Newton Ground, you're going to pass National Bank. Then you're going to pass the road, which is called Millard Street. After which you have Progress Bar, and then you have the market.
Farms Road.
Farms Road is would be on the mountain side.
Oh, okay, the one that goes up.
Up to the mountain.
Okay.
So that's the road that we take to our farms.
Okay.
So, we assemble at the market. So we get the kids to come at the market, and then we shuttle them up to the farm.
Right. So you sell a lot of fresh produce, I imagine, and I guess it's every week.
Every week, every day, Tuesday to Saturday.
Oh, so it's not just a one-day thing.
No, we started out with the traditional market of just the Saturdays.
Uh-huh.
Right. But through the farms grew in size and production increased, we had more food that we could than we could move on the Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So we ended up building a roadside stall on the main roadside. You check, and we started selling there during the week and going back down inside the market on Saturdays. But who got accustomed to the roadside stall when the site closed on Saturdays felt like the market was closed.
So it doesn't open on Saturdays anymore?
So we moved the whole operation to the stall at the main road.
Okay. All right. So it does open on Saturday, but at
Yes,
the main road,
on the main road.
on the stalls that
Yeah.
have been built there.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have ital for lunch every Saturday.
Okay. So if you want some good ital food,
Yes.
you head for the SPACs roadside market,
Yes.
and you can pick up not only your fresh fruits and vegetables. Tell us a bit about the type of fruits and vegetables that you can find there.
Well, mango season is almost out, but we have quite a variety of mangoes. We have avocados. Just now we're going to have sea grape.
Yeah, those are coming in.
Yeah, star apples, potatoes, bananas, plantains, you know what I mean? Guavas, cucumbers, pumpkins. So we sell basically everything that is available. And you know, things are seasonal, so sometimes
Yes,
one thing will be there.
some things you'll get at a
sometimes
certain
something
time
will
and
not
not otherwise.
be. We also do the fresh juices, the local juices, that as well, you know. So coconut water is another thing that we sell as well on a daily. So
Yeah, so I think when you at Brimstone Hill for the Emancipation Festival, you'll have some of those juices with you.
definitely juices, coconut water, probably some remnants of some mangoes,
Yes.
you know, because mangoes.
Yeah, well, I know Nevis likes to boast of the vast number of species of mangoes they have there. How many species of mango you think you have inside? the
Well, amongst the cooperative, I would want to say we have in excess of 25 varieties of mangoes.
Okay, 25 varieties. Wow.
Yeah, in excess of 20. I personally, at my farm, I have about 10. So I know we got quite
Just
a bit.
out of interest, do you know the names of some of these species?
Yeah, you have things like golden nugget, you have keat, you have the amripali.
What do you call that? Keith?
Keat, yeah.
How you spell?
Keith, Keith.
Oh, Keith. Okay.
That's a very big mango,
Oh.
real fleshy. You have what we call round ball. We have what we call long salt or Nevis mango. We have another one we call Bajan. We have the rosy cheek. We have the one that we call Arton mango.
What's that one?
Arton.
Arton?
That area between Fives, Newton going up there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he had a particular kind of small, thick skin kind of mango. So traditionally, you know, you name things where you find them, so we would call that one Arton mango. Right? Also we have Owen.
Owen?
Owen.
Is there a spelling for that?
Owen.
Oh,
Owen.
okay, Owen.
Owen. We have Bellyful, we have Bambe.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's quite a large variety of
I
mangoes.
would love to
so
sample all of these different
yeah,
kinds.
so
I know
for
some of
me-
them, of course, but
So
not
for me,
all.
with the Nevis Mango Festival, though, right, as they boast about the mangoes, for me, what to be missing from that, not to drift, is that I, as a mango lover, I cannot go there and buy a dozen mangoes and sit and eat my dozen Julie mangoes.
Why is that?
They don't do that. And I find they need to reach to that because we as Kititians, we're going over there for mangoes. Yeah, we're going to sample all the mango creations and different things. But
So the
some of
mango
us go-
festival there is
Yeah.
based on the mango creations.
yes, they have a style where you
the-
could go and sample, you know, get a taste
The
of
things that
different
you
varieties.
make from the mango.
No, they have a mango style where you can go and sample, get a bite of different varieties of mangoes.
Okay, but not
But
get.
I'm talking of the experience of going and buy a dozen
A
pali
dozen,
mangoes and be
get
able to
you.
sit and eat your dozen pali mangoes. Yeah, because we eat mangoes.
Yes, yes,
We
yes.
sit down over a bucket and eat a bucket of mangoes. So I do look for that
You
experience.
sit down and eat a bucket of mango?
Yeah, we eat mangoes, we eat mangoes. Yeah, we eat mangoes. So, yeah, but yeah, mangoes is something that we have a lot of. Coconut, we have them in varieties. Pineapples as well. So guavas as well. You know, so yeah, it's an interesting experience
Yeah.
to actually visit a farm. You know, a lot of persons see things in the supermarkets and the shelves, eat things, but they don't actually see the habitat they are going in, see them in growing. So
do you
it's an
invite
experience.
people to come to your farms and visit and see?
Well, we
what's
don't
going on?
have an official tour or anything organized as yet, but you know, individually you could always reach out to members if you want.
Okay.
An
Is there
experience
a number for SPACs that you would like people to call if they need to find out more information about anything that SPACs is doing?
They could contact me, 664-2732, 668-7026. You know, we don't really have a direct organization number. We had one, but that kind of crashed for a while. Now we need to get back to that. But
So if
nonetheless, we're
anyone-
there at the market.
Yeah.
The market is open. You could always leave a message there with the workers. And I say you could always call me. We have a Facebook page, so you could always leave a comment, a question there as well. You know what I mean? So
Now, with this Facebook page, is there a special name that the page goes by?
it's Sandy Point Agricultural Cooperative.
Sandy Point Agricultural Cooperative. Okay. And they can call 664-2732 or 668-7026. So right now we'll take a small commercial break and we'll be right back after.
Found the sound 98.9 Win FM.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
More than 42 million cars from 19 different car companies are being recalled for faulty airbag inflators. Repairs are fast, easy, and free. The problem isn't with the airbag, it's with the airbag inflator. Because the inflator can rupture, shooting shrapnel through the airbag, which can cause serious injury or even because the inflator can rupture, shooting shrapnel through the airbag, which can cause serious injury or even death. Don't risk it, fix it.
Please contact TDC Automotive Division to find out if your Toyota vehicle is affected by the Takata airbag recall. Visit or call us at 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
So consider it as part of your shopping, a nice cool drive from any part of the island over to Sandy Point to look at their produce and see what you can find and enjoy maybe some unusual delicacies that they will have there, including ITAL. Now, you notice that we talk about ITAL because I believe that some of the members of SPACs are part of the Rastafarian movement. Is that so?
Yes. Members of SPACs are also a part of the Organization of Rastafarian Unity, which is an umbrella organization that is basically representing or championing the affairs of Rastafari in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an organization to replace any house or mansion, but it's an umbrella for us to stand under
Mm-hmm.
and address our common problems.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we were recently involved with was the activities associated with the welcoming of the son of Marcus Messiah Garvey. And this coming Sunday, the 17th, is actually the birthday of Marcus Messiah Garvey.
This coming Sunday.
This coming
Mhm.
Sunday, August 17th.
Mm-hmm.
And the organization is organizing an activity to celebrate the life of Marcus Messiah Garvey right there at the cultural village, right there in the circus, where they had the activity with Mr. Garvey's son and Rastafari.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is going to be happening this coming Sunday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., where there's going to be poetries, speeches, drumming, and presentations highlighting and educating persons about who Marcus Messiah Garvey was
Mm-hmm.
and what he did and what he meant for us as black people. You know, so we're encouraging persons to come out. There's no admission fee, you know what I mean? Sunday afternoon, you know what I mean? So for those who really didn't get a chance to be a part of the activities with his son, you know what I mean, because it wasn't so much published that a lot of persons don't really listen to radio.
Mm-hmm.
But he had an opportunity still to come and be a part of the whole Marcus Messiah Garvey celebration, you know what I mean, and learn a bit
Mhm.
more about who he is and, you know what I mean, what he meant to I and I as black people. So this coming Sunday, 17th, from 2 p.m. at the African Village, Basti across from the circus, come on out and be a part of the celebration of the life of Marcus Messiah Garvey.
Okay, so I'll also like to add my encouragement to folks to come along on Sunday to this celebration of Marcus Messiah Garvey's birthday. And this will be led by the Rastafari movement in St. Kitts. And it should be a pretty good event. I happen to have attended the events that were held when his son, what was his first name again? Can't remember his first name, but when his son came here, they had an event at Sandy Point, at Pump Bay.
Yeah.
And it is said that when he came here in, what it was, 1937, was it?
1937, yes.
In 1937,
Second
that he
November.
landed at Pump Bay.
At Pump Bay.
And so a ceremony was held there to remember where he landed and where he entered St. Kitts from. Pump Bay was at that time a very important part of the, what should I call it, the entry and exit point.
Yes,
It was an
yes.
important exit and entry point into St. Kitts. And so Marcus Garvey landed there he came by ship, of course. In those days, airplanes weren't very prevalent yet. Most people traveled by sea. And he came in at that point. There was, I think, immigration and customs building there.
Yeah, and you mentioned that and the whole event came into being, right? A lot of us now living, right, hearing this, can't recall ever seeing that, you know what I mean, ever seeing the country in that state where the functioning pier and amenities were in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Even for me, I know a shabby piece of broke down pier and the remnants, you know what I mean? So I never saw it functioning with big ships and cargo and so forth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now to say that Marcus Garvey would have entered the country via a port in that area,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? It leaves to see that so many parts of our history, we do not know. And
Yeah.
it's not being taught. You see where I'm coming from? So
Fair enough. I have some connection with some of all this because, incidentally, my uncle, Herbert Handy, he was at one point the harbour master at Sandy Point,
oh, wow.
right? So he was the guy in charge of the operations for customs and so on in Sandy Point. Then he wrote a book which I read, which he talks about all the things that happened and how, because of the proximity of Sandy Point to Statia, there used to be a lot of smuggling going on.
Right.
And part of his job was to monitor and curtail some of that smuggling. And he tells stories of some exciting episodes
Right.
where they had to intercept vessels coming or going there.
Well, I heard with the revolution in the 1967 era, yeah, that same Pump Bay, you know what I mean?
That was, okay.
Many boats came in, you know what I mean? People putting bags of guns going up the hill in the bush, you know what I mean? Stories
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
Pump Bay has been a point of entry for many years.
Well, I'm going to tell you a little personal story now.
Uh-huh.
I left St. Kitts when I was very young, apparently a baby. And I then was brought up in the Virgin Islands. And when I was 9 years old, I was sent back to St. Kitts.
Okay.
But, of course, by boat. And guess where that boat landed?
Pump Bay.
Pump Bay. So I myself entered back into St. Kitts via Pump Bay. Okay, so I can recall the pier there. I can recall the boat that came in. It was it was something like a kind of wooden sloop like. It was motorized, but it took a few days, I think, to get from Tortola to St. Kitts, and so I have experience of
the pier
landing at Pump Bay.
Right.
And then in the 70s, I was very much into fishing. And I used to go to the remnants of the pier that was there and fish.
Right.
Okay, I used to catch some very good fish
Yeah, I saw some of that in my
Yeah.
young days.
right off there.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I distinctly remember going there one, it was either Saturday or Sunday night. I think it was a Saturday night. And the pier was abandoned, no one was around, and I had passed there several times and saw no one there. But I just got this urge one day and I said, that place looked like a nice place to fish. So I went down there with my equipment, fishing gear. And I went out on the pier. And there was a light on the end of the pier, a lamp post, as we say, shining its light right into the water. And so you can clearly see a lot of fish basking around in the lamplight. These were fish we call pompano. You're familiar with that? That it looks like something like I think there's another name for it, but they look something like a sort of angel fish, right? Not the saltwater angel, but more like the freshwater angel, pompano. And I threw over my line, and man, these fellas were like hungry. They latched onto the line, and eventually I decided, oh man, sending over one hook at a time wasn't enough. So I put like 3 hooks on the line, and when I throw over, I'm pulling in 3 fish at a time.
Wow.
And in short order, I filled a those 5-gallon kit,
Bucket, yeah.
right? I filled a 5-gallon bucket with fish. And of course, while I was there, people from Sandy Point and Pump Bay were passing, and they saw this guy hauling all these fish out. Okay? And nobody came then. I don't know if they came after I left, because once my bucket was full, I had no need for any more fish. So I put it in my car and I head back to town. And we had a good supply of fish which we refrigerated and used for a few weeks, eating fish, and that's a very delicious fish. And we used that fish over a period of time. Now, the next time when that fish was done, I came back another day. I couldn't find room on the pier. Couldn't find room on the pier. Because everybody now started to fish on the pier because they saw this guy who was pulling up so much fish that everybody was coming there to catch fish now. So I never went back because, I think I went back another time and it was the same thing. So I realized, okay, that's out of the question now. Yeah. So I didn't fish there anymore. But yes, so Marcus Garvey landed there, and I am understanding we had a nice ceremony where they remembered his landing there, and there was one of the memorable things for me was a nice poem by Jacinth Henry Martin, and it was well read and put over, and I think she also mentioned that her grandfather was a part of the organizing committee for getting Mr. Garvey here, you know. So it was important. It was a sort of significant thing for her, since the family was involved in it. And another thing that happened there was an announcement with regards to a planned memorial.
Right, I see the erection of the board. So
To be-
it left
yes.
me to wonder if is it that they're going to actually put something. I was wondering if they're going to actually erect something, right? That
Yes.
when persons pass, they could actually see,
Uh-huh.
you know?
Yes, so actually, what they seem to be planning is to build a monument, a sort of like a stone structure at the top of the hill overlooking the bay. That structure, that structure will have information on it about Marcus Garvey and his visit and so on. But at the bottom, closer to the bay near the road, they will have a parking space. And so you can stop there and park, and then you can walk up the hill, but via a series of steps, a winding step that takes you up. But it's going to total 100 steps.
Oh.
But what I understand is that they will be done in increments of 25, so that you'll walk 25 steps and then you reach a point where there's an information board
Okay.
that will give you information about Marcus Garvey and so on, and about Sandy Point and about Pump Bay and that sort of thing. And then you walk another 25 steps, and then there's another with
one.
more information and so on, and then another 25 steps, more information, and then when you get to the top, the final plaque,
Right.
which will have the engraved image of Marcus Garvey and information
some
about
information
him
and
and so on. So that is my understanding of what is supposed to go there. So it seems to be a very well-planned memorial that they plan to put there in honor of Marcus Garvey's visit. And then later that same morning, we then moved to Bastia, where we went to Market Street.
Market Street by the MIS
By
Hall.
the MIS Hall,
Yes.
Mutual Improvement Society. And there was a ceremony there now because the MIS Hall was where Marcus Garvey delivered what some recall and often speak about as one of the most stirring speeches that they have heard, and in which he encouraged and told our people, technically his people, of, you know, seeing their worth and making sure that they plan their future well and become their own independent people and so on, and lots of other inspirational words that funny enough, I've never read the speech, but I've heard that that's the kind of thing. And so a lot of people remember that speech very well. And so the MIS Hall, apart from its community importance, took on an aura of local greatness because of the fact that Marcus Garvey
came there
came
and
there.
made a speech there.
Yes.
And in saying that too, right, to see that this man from that time, and even before that time, was hailed as an extraordinary man, a visionary, you know what I mean? A leader, a true leader of black people and black power. And to see that he would have come here and delivered such a powerful speech, and his existence holds so much significance amongst us, and that place has no significance to I and I as a people in this country. That after so many years and up to this present day, there is nothing there. If like for example, we are talking about tourism, and history is tourism. And to see we don't even have a billboard, a structure, something that
A plaque.
the thousands of tourists who come through annually could pass there and be educated.
But not just the tourists, but
You
even our
know,
locals.
even our
because
locals.
How many of our young people know
Do
about
not-
that event?
They do not know.
They don't even know about the building.
That's what I'm
because
saying.
it is non-existent
It is
except
not
for
existent.
the ruined stone structures of the bottom floor.
Right, and even if the ruins are there, at least something to say what these ruins
Yeah.
were.
And in fact, the ruins weren't even being maintained because they had to clear it of lots of vegetation and garbage. Look, people
Right.
dumping garbage inside. It was a dump heap.
So, to me, you know, I mean, the government, and government is continuous. The government cannot do everything. And a lot of times, we, as a people, we look to them to do everything. But even so, a lot of times, we as the people offer suggestions to them. Why don't you let us do certain things and you facilitate the support, the resources, so we could deal with these things and look after these things? And they don't.
Well, I think I heard at the same event, the Prime Minister, I hope I'm not misquoting him, and it's not a quotation, but just maybe a paraphrase. I heard him say something to the effect that the government is now cognizant of the fact of the importance of some of these sites and will do what is necessary to preserve and protect sites like this. So I take from that hopefully the government is going to do something with regards to keeping the site clean, maybe some sort of restoration project to bring back the building in some useful form.
Right.
Because that building, of course, it was a society building. In other words, meetings were held there, functions were held there. As a matter of fact, I remember growing up, we used to have church there, upstairs.
Well, during the actual event there, the morning, I heard a few elders saying things like they're going to parties, dance events inside
yes,
there.
there were
So
parties
like,
there.
you
When
know?
people got married, they used the MIS hall for their wedding receptions and things
Okay.
like that. The Okolo Tegramantin dancers, that was their dance headquarters.
Right.
That's where they practiced their craft, and the drummers. That's where they started, at the MIS hall. And I think I have heard some of them talk, very much missed it when it fell into disrepair and had to move to other places. And so all of these things, need not only to be recognized, but also to be recorded.
Right.
And maybe, yes, we probably put something there about the fact that Marcus Garvey came there and delivered his speech. Maybe even a transcript of the speech could be placed on the wall.
On the wall as well.
So that
persons
one
could
can
read
go there and read the words of admonishment and
what he
so
said,
on that he
yes.
said.
Right.
Because many people don't know. But I think if there's a plaque there that says, this is the speech of Marcus Garvey delivered at this hall
Right.
on such and such a day and date. And so people can go in there and actually read it.
Right.
And perhaps too, with a building restored, and you have it as an edifice that you are in,
Right.
when you're reading it, it might have a true significance.
Right.
You know, that
You might be able to
you're in the
envision yourself.
Yeah, you're in
Right.
you're almost like you're in the presence of the man
Right,
as he
right,
speaks it.
right,
Who knows? It could even go to the point of oh no, well, there was no recording in those days. But I think that some sort of recognition of that, but a restoration of that building, I think, is
Should.
important.
It's important.
To recognize the significance, and two, for it to be a continuing, like a community center
Yes.
for the areas, for that area, McKnight and Southern Bastyr and so on. And you'll find that people will be going there. But anyway, we're going to come right back because we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll continue after the commercials.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
More than 42 million cars from 19 different car companies are being recalled for faulty airbag inflators. Repairs are fast, easy, and free. The problem isn't with the airbag, it's with the airbag inflator. Because the inflator can rupture, shooting shrapnel through the airbag, which can cause serious injury or even death. Don't risk it, fix it.
Please contact TDC Automotive Division to find out if your Toyota vehicle is affected by the Takata airbag recall. Visit or call us at 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis.
Rams the good food people always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. We want your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
Okay, welcome back to Heritage Matters. And we were just talking about the MIS building on Market Street, where a ceremony was held during the visit of Marcus Garvey's son to the Federation a week or so ago. And we were talking about the significance of that building, not only from the point of view of Marcus Garvey delivering that stirring speech there in 1937, but also the fact that it was a building that was of significance to many of our people. As I mentioned earlier, the Okolo Tegramantine, their practice and that was their headquarters, the MIS Hall. There were other people that used the hall for various community purposes. People used it for weddings, receptions. They used it for parties. They used it for meetings and conferences and stuff, and even church, because I used to attend church at the MIS Hall many years ago as a boy. So I have an experience with it, and it was disappointing to see a place like that simply left to ruin. Nobody maintained it, nobody kept it up, and it just started to rotten. And when, of course, the timber starts to rot, everybody just let it fall in and just abandon the building and just let it fall apart. And so all you have now are the stone structures, and it's amazing how in those days the stone structures that were built were so strong that they could stand up long after other parts of the buildings has disappeared. And I do hope that government would make some effort to restore that building and bring it back as a community center for the people in the area. And I think having, as I mentioned earlier, maybe an inscribed transcript of the speech there for people to go there and read and maybe even feel that presence as if they were in the presence of Marcus Garvey, maybe a picture there and the speech, so that they can get the experience of hearing his stirring words as they stand in the building itself. The master of ceremony, no, it wasn't the master of ceremonies, one of the persons who gave a talk there was the former director of culture, Mr. Crichton Pension. And I remember one of the first things Mr. Pension said when he went up there. He talked about the building and its importance and so on. And he said something, I can't quote him direct, but he said something to the effect that we should never, ever see a building like this come to this kind of condition ever again. And he was literally admonishing the government to do something to make sure that it's properly restored, and that this building and like buildings should never be allowed to come to that stage of disrepair, dilapidation, and ruin. And he was very strong in that point. And when he was sitting by me actually before he got up, when he came back, I said to him, very good points. He said he just couldn't sit there and allow it to pass by, you know. And he was very adamant about how the building was treated and how it should be treated. And so hopefully something will be done about that.
If I could, because we are going to develop, we are going to grow, we are going to advance. But in all the moving forward, we must never forget where we come from. You know, the things that made us, you know what I mean, that brought us through should not be forgotten or thrown away. And for the new generation not to know. You know what I mean? So it's sad to see that a lot of the history slowly fading away with the development, and nobody is taking into consideration. For example, SSMC closed in 2005. And since then, there has been a serious excavation move to break down the sugar estates and hoard the stones. You know what I mean? Because right now stone is a business. So a lot of the mills,
it's not an official move as you right. termed it. It's people vandalizing.
Yeah. But it is happening because we are looking at development, but we are not trying to preserve the history that enabled us to develop. You know what I'm saying? So now we're going forward and we're building new houses and whatever, and we're putting our stone on them. But we're destroying the structures
to get those stones.
But
then,
you know what I mean?
St. Kitts is made up of that same stone. And if you want stone, you can go and get it from all over the place.
All over the place. So why
state?
We need to destroy the structures when all of them could be cleaned out? That's what I'm saying. Repaired, occupied, and provide a service, provide employment, provide an opportunity for persons to learn what used to happen there. That's what I'm saying. And in so doing, generate revenue and work opportunity for persons.
There are many people who tend to argue that why are we preserving these old things that are literally reminders of colonial past? Okay? But at the same time, I tend to say that history doesn't become erased because of something. And sometimes it's good to have historical reminders to, just as you say, show where we have come from and where we are today. Okay? And for me, it's a very interesting progression to be able to show the youngsters. Because think of it now, this is what, 2025. The sugar industry came to an end 20 years ago, 2005. Which means that there are no persons under 20 now who know anything apart from what they hear about sugar. And what they're hearing is going further and further back. Or what should I say? Is going further and further out of memory because a lot of people aren't passing that information on. Yes, one might say, well, why should we remember? Right? But as you said, we need to also be able to learn from our past to help direct our future.
Right.
And therefore, it's good to preserve this and to let the children know what was happening and how it was happening, how sugar was made.
Right.
Senkis was literally all about sugar. That's why we are called Sugar City.
Sugar City.
Because sugar dominated the lives
Sugar
of
was
everyone.
basically 90% of the landscape.
Yeah, sugar dominated the lives of every single person.
Right.
Whether you were an accountant, you were doing something that had to do with sugar, or whether you were a doctor, you know.
And I, in many instances, right, I try to use that example to explain one of the predicament we are in today, technically. When sugar was king, right, the sugar industry absorbed took Mun and Sam. For example, if you were educated, as we would say, and got subjects, you had job opportunities like bookkeeping, payroll, and things of that nature.
Management. And whatnot.
If you were not on that level and had physical skills, you could help work on the tractors, engineers, mechanics, and so forth.
And then they had the machine shop.
Right? And then you had those who going out in the field and do that different part of work. So education,
and then those
education,
who
not.
drove things like the tractors.
Right?
And
Education, not. You had an opportunity within the industry, right? And that industry was agriculture. You see what I'm saying? And to see we shift to tourism, which is something that is based on skills, qualifications, intelligence more so, right? Creativity. So not saying that you have to be 100% educated to make it in tourism, but it kind of rejects the ones who are not qualified, capable. There's not many areas where you can fit in or be accommodated like agriculture. You see what I'm saying? Because within agriculture, there are a lot of things you can do that may not require so much, quote unquote, education. You see what I'm saying? Because it may be task skill based.
Let me ask you a question then, because it's something that I see and I wonder about. Since sugar was closed down, the sugar industry, one would have thought that it then presented an excellent opportunity for farming in St. Kitts. Opportunity in the sense that all of those hundreds and thousands of acres of land that were previously under sugar now became available for other use.
Right.
And I say other use because not just agriculture, but I expect that a lot of it would have been taken up by farmers and so on, so that we can expand our food production and our reduce our dependence on imported food. But I hike a lot. I explore a lot. We have a group we call the Hash House Harriers, where we run all over the island.
Okay.
And so we run up in the mountains, we run across fields, through the cane fields, the beaches, the guts, everywhere. And so I know St. Kitts pretty much inside out. And it has been my observance that after sugar was closed, the land returned to the wild. Nothing wrong with that. I actually actually like that. But at the same time, what bothered me is that there wasn't a big move to increase our agricultural production and capacity, having now had all those lands become available for use other than sugar.
Well,
What do you think is the reason for that? And is there any effort by farmers to capitalize on the fact that there are all of this land available for use?
well, me personally, right, in my observation, right, the government of the day, right, saw the quicker opportunity in terms of tourism, because tourism, it brings a fast dollar and it creates a lot of opportunities. For
And agriculture is
example,
one of those, because
Yes.
who's going to supply the hotels with food
Yes.
products, especially agricultural
Yes.
food products,
Yes,
if not
that
the
is so.
farmers?
That
But
is
with,
so.
with lots of land becoming available, now the farmers have that opportunity. But instead, we increase our import bill.
Yeah, because for example, as I say, the country as it is, originally the conquerors, they saw it as, okay, a multi-million-dollar food production asset. That's why it was called mother colony. They used it to feed and build their wealth. You know what I mean, of the land. But in modern day, the now leaders see it as sun, sea, and sand. Because as some of us got it, agriculture is slavery. So let me move away from slavery and go into modern day slavery, which is tourism. That's where I'm coming from. And be slaves of a different kind, where we work to make people happy and service people, right? Versus being food producers and being able to eat healthy, proper, fresh food and know, well, even if you don't sell, we're still going to eat. That's what I'm saying. But no, we want to be of an elite kind, so we got fancy hotels, we drive fancy vehicles, you know what I mean?
And so what I have found is that the people who were former farmers, they have moved away from their traditional farming, but of course they are still skilled in the soil, in plants, in growing, and so on and so on. So what do? They go on to work for the hotels as landscapers, getting a quicker and maybe an easier,
and
less
for me, in
less labor-intensive
2005,
dollar. I have no problem, but I still believe that we could improve our agricultural production by modernizing it.
in 2005, I was still going to school. And in doing some studies, I came across the agricultural landscape after sugar, right? Because I did my thesis in terms of alternatives after sugar, right? And the opportunity was there, right? But the government, in a sense, the government was losing monies with the sugar.
Yes.
So technically, that's
That was
agriculture.
the main reason why
Yeah,
it was closed.
They closed them, but technically that's agriculture. So on one side you could see where they're saying, but we're getting licks in agriculture, so why go agriculture still? Which for me, I was saying, but we don't got machinery, we don't got a labor force. All we got to do is change the crop.
And we have the land.
And we had the land. That's what I'm saying. So if I was getting $2 a week to work on the sugar, what's so hard to give me extra $1? But we spend money to retrain, we educate, and go in a different direction. So agriculture now is there for whoever wants to. You see what I'm saying? The government made lands available, so whoever is interested in being a farmer could access lands and farm. But what is lacking is a proper structure to that farming,
I agree with that.
like how sugar production had.
Mm-hmm.
That is what is lacking. So through that, now we are in this position where we seem to have to depend on foreign food
I remember
because there's no proper structure to the production. So you find farmers are free to plant what they want, when they want, how much they want.
isn't that a problem?
And that is a problem.
Exactly.
There's no structure in
there
that.
needs to be a structure
Because we only
because
could consume so much.
I remember the
at a time.
government started these agricultural cooperatives. Is that right? Right?
Yeah, the
And
system.
what I thought was supposed to happen with that is that the government or the agricultural department, let's put it that way, would work out demand. What is needed from the agricultural sector at particular times. In other words, let's say tomatoes. What kind of production do we need in tomatoes to supply the local demand? And of course, maybe even some export. What do we need in cabbage? What do we need in potatoes? What do we need in yams? What do we need in bananas? And so on and so on. But then it will be more cost effective, what we call produce better economies of scale, if certain farmers produce the things that they are better at producing in the quantities necessary to meet the demand. So in other words, they might assign farmer A 30 acres, farmer B 20 acres, farmer C 15 acres. Let's just say that, because they know that that acreage would produce the number, or I should say the quantities of that produce that is required to supply the hotels, supply the local markets, supply the supermarkets, and so on and so on. Okay? So those farmers, they don't need to go and get involved in other things because they can then concentrate the equipment and their process on a particular product.
Right.
Then now you have other farmers now who do another
Another set of crops.
okay, again geared to meet the demand
Right.
that is required, and then others do the others, and so on and so on. Then you might just have those now who are, let's say, the do-it-all kind of people who might plant a little bit of this and a little bit of that, a little bit of that. But then there are people who might, let's say, supply the local market in terms of,
Right.
selling by
Right.
the roadside and people doing so on and so on and so on. But the other people are for the commercial
But
supply.
even within that, you see what I'm saying? What that would need, right? Is it needs a program. For example, as an extension officer, I would have spoken to farmers about the problem, the oversupplying and the undersupplying.
Right.
It's because everybody plants what they want when they want. But as you say, if we know the trends and we know the supplies and the demands, then you must come up with a program that produces or supplies that demand. It may require 10 plants. It may be 100 pounds, right? So if the average is between 80 to 100 pounds per week, right? Then the farmer's production must be in that range where you're going to get 80 to 120 pounds per week. So you have your minimum, and if there's a spike, you have something extra, right? But it cannot be where the demand is 80 to 100 pounds, but we have farmers producing 5,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So when we only going to use 100, so that's how much pounds there.
You see, because what I found used to happen was that farmers would hear there's a demand for, let's call it for
Watermelon.
tomatoes. Okay? And so everybody gonna plant tomatoes. And then you end up with a glut. Okay? Because everybody's producing tomatoes, and as you said, there's overproduction. So now
Overproduction.
people are gonna find that all these tomatoes that they went and produced a lot of it going to spoil
Right.
because only X amount was needed. But the other crops that they ignored
Right.
to go and plant tomatoes
Right.
are now in demand because they're
Right.
scarce.
But
Okay?
everybody could
And
get
so
a chance.
everybody now going to say, oh, boy, I hear peanuts now is required. Anybody going to plant peanuts?
Right. Right.
You know, and they forget the other things that are needed. So that's where they need organization
The scheduling.
and the balance and the scheduling, because
Yeah.
production in agriculture is not just a matter of planting today all your land in one thing, and then when it bears, because you have a crop cycle, when it bears that crop, then there's nothing else until the next crop cycle.
Right.
So you should have somebody who's planting for this cycle, somebody who's there for the next cycle, and the next cycle, so there's a continuity.
That's where the scheduling comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But farmers themselves, and I keep saying it, right? We need to sit down and look at our challenges. We know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
We know what they are, but collectively we must agree that this needs to be addressed so that we could be able to move forward.
And they have to work together to
Right.
achieve it,
You
not
see what
on
I'm
an
saying?
individual basis.
For example, one of our major challenges that the outer world is banging us with is when they harvest, they have storage.
Okay.
So the food that we are importing,
Mm-hmm.
unlike when a supermarket calls a farmer, the farmer goes to the field, most of us, and harvest that order.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Versus coming from overseas, it's coming from storage, 2 weeks on the boat to get here.
And they
Right.
probably pick those harvest, those produce prior to full maturity.
All right.
In
For
order
shelf life and
for shelf-
shipping.
exactly.
and so
Shelf
forth,
life and
right?
shipping.
So there's the difference between us. Theirs is already there. So you just call and they ship. For us, we have no storage, so it's in the field. So if no market is there, the pests attack it, the weather destroy it, and then when the market comes available, it's not there.
What about, we talk about storage, but what about some of the things that we produce, like let's say tomatoes? Yes, I know tomatoes again is another thing you pick early,
Yeah.
when it's literally green,
Right.
but full, and then the storage and shipping time, by the time it gets to the supermarkets here, you notice most of the tomatoes don't be really red, they're kind of
Right.
greenish
Right.
red.
Right.
And then sometimes you take it home and you have to put it down for a little while for it to ripen properly to get a
Right.
nice tasting tomato.
Right.
Of course, I personally believe that fruits and vegetables that are harvested that way don't have as full a
No,
taste and
no.
maybe even nutrition
Right.
as the ones that
Because they
are
were not allowed to fully mature.
exactly.
Right? And sometimes they would use hormones to ripen. That's what I'm saying.
Bananas are a good example of that.
Exactly. So, but for us here in St. Kitts, right? I was young when Simako was around, and I hear the stories of Simako. And I felt that Simako failed, one, because the farmers who were benefiting from it were not contributing. And that is what I am seeing with our agricultural sector today. You see what I'm saying? The government, for example, there are issues, right? For example, the ground cover, you know what I mean? The government was giving out ground covers the other day, right?
That's not plastic
The
sheeting. like
black
that.
sheeting, the black matting
Yeah,
that people was using. And it was given to the farmers. You see what I'm saying? All right? What has been given is finished. You see what I'm saying? The government allows and provides duty-free concession. You see what I'm saying? For importation of agricultural inputs and so forth. So why can't the farmers who want these ground covers say, let's come together, put the money together, and bring in a container? The government is going to give us the duties and the port fees and whatever they're going to waive, concessions we're going to get. So why we don't go direct? and import them ourselves.
Exactly, as a group
As
rather
a
than individually.
group rather than
Because it'd be more
individual.
expensive if you
That's
try
what
to
I'm
do it
saying.
individually.
If it's $2 for one, you know what I mean? Well, provide your money. You see what I'm saying? Put your money where your mouth is, because at the end of the day, you're going to make back your money. So where you're not going to invest. So the government is not going to give it to you free. I mean, you ain't going to deal
And
with
I
it.
think that we have become, over time, a people who seem to rely on handouts.
Yes.
And if the government ain't going to give us, then something is wrong.
But even so, stick a pin. And the government does give handouts. And that has become the nature of the government of the day, of recent things. You continuously give. But with all the giving, my concern is, what are we, the recipients, doing with all this free thing that we get in? Because
We're just absorbing
I am of the view, right?
and consuming.
When I started to work agriculture, right, I was of the view that the government is not doing enough for agriculture. Agriculture should be on the level like national security. If they could get 100 million, because security is a priority. Food security is a priority.
I'm just going to tell you that
So we should be getting $100 million to ensure that things is there, to ensure that food is there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Resources is there to
It's
keep off
part of
monkey,
our-
to keep off, to
The
do.
security of our existence.
You see where I'm
Food,
coming
a
from?
very vital part
Right?
of it.
But here's where I stand now. Since I am there, I would have said they don't do enough. The budget should be bigger. But regardless of what the budget is, they still find some part of that budget to give resources to the farming community. I know what I say, give. No charge. Free. But if I am your father, are your parent and guardian, and every year I'm going to give you $20, every month I'm going to give you $20. You see what I'm saying? And from that $20, you use all, and I can't see what you do with the $20. I give you $20 again, you use it again, and I can't see no progress from the $20. At some point in time, I will not be motivated to continue to give you 20. I can give you less.
Or none.
Or none. So which could be a case here with agriculture. So who is to blame? The farmers would be the ones to blame, because
If you're going to be
resources are being
receiving,
pumped
you have to see that the resources are
freely
being properly used.
into your sector, but we are not seeing no growth. We are not seeing no advancement. We are not seeing, you see what I said, the same gluts,
Yeah, I
the
see
same
even
undersupply,
there was
the same
something with a lot of
issues.
these structures
Right.
for greenhouses and
Yeah.
so on and so on. I think
But
the government,
if-
did they give, or were those?
Because a lot
purchased?
of the government givings are politically motivated. You see where I'm coming from? They are based on politics. They are not based on merit. You see where I'm coming from? For example, the Marcus Garvey thing over there, that was just a political thing, because look at it. Let us see if they're going to maintain the area clean. Let us see if we're going to see or hear any development pertaining to the MIS Hall. You see where I'm coming
The
from?
restoration project.
You see where I'm coming from? So I just want to say that we as a people, we need to, we just say hold the politicians' feet to the fire, but sometimes they make resources available to us, but we don't utilize them properly. So,
So
at
we
the
got
end
to
of the
hold
day,
our own feet to the fire
at
too.
the end of the day, you can't expect the man to continue to give you $100 and you're not,
I get you.
advancement out of
But
it.
right now we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Ready to save while you build? Now you can at Builders Paradise. Yes, shoppers, build up your Value Club points at Builders Paradise. That's right, Value Club members and shoppers, your favorite frequent buyer club is now available at the home of hardware and more. Whether you're laying tiles, painting walls, replacing doors, upgrading windows, or fixing up your home, every purchase at Builders Paradise now earns you Value Club points. Enjoy exclusive benefits like discounts on thousands of items, special savings for seniors, instant deals, quarterly rebates, plus an extra up to 2% off every quarter. Shop more, save more, and more only at Builders Paradise. Don't miss out. Start building your rewards today with Value Club at Builders Paradise, because every bolt, board, and brush brings you closer to bigger, better savings. Terms and conditions apply.
Flow customers, unlock big prepaid rewards every time you activate a prepaid plan. Activate a 7-day plan or higher and earn points towards your rewards. Activate again, earn even more points. Activate next week, well, you get the picture. The more you activate, the more extra data and prizes you earn. Get in on the big prepaid rewards. Dial *129 or visit topupflow.com to activate a prepaid plan today.
Okay, welcome back to Heritage Matters, and we are having a discussion here with Mr. Lionel Stevens. He's the president of SPACS, the Sandy Point Agricultural Co-op Society, and we're talking about agriculture in St. Kitts and St. Kitts and Nevis, and what is happening in that area, and about food security and the need for having good and proper food security in our nation. We rely very heavily on imported food, especially with the surge in business of the tourism sector. And I think we're focusing a lot on making sure that the tourism sector is supplied, and most of it is being supplied out of imports rather than from local supplies. But the fact that the sugar was sugar industry was closed down 20 years ago means that we're supposed to have ample land for agricultural development and for ensuring that we take that opportunity to provide adequate and sometimes more than adequate provision for the nation's food security.
You touched cooperatives at one point in time, right? I wanted to talk a bit about it too. You see, where education and knowledge, you know what I mean? They're like Department of Cooperatives. There are several cooperatives registered technically. But what you find, most of the farmers, even agro-processors, still stand on their own. They don't try to stand under an umbrella. They don't try to be part of a collective. But which in all the time we hear team, together everyone achieves more, stronger together, you know what I mean, and these kind of things, strength in numbers. But yet still, we're still trying to go at it individually.
Why do you think that is?
Because a lot of us would have been burnt in groups, in collectives before. A lot of us would have been burnt and burnt badly. You see what I'm saying? So the ability to trust again and dedicate yourself to being part of something where you know somebody in there going bad mind or thief it or undermine and these things. You know what I mean? It has us wanting to go at it alone, and we struggle. I'll give you an example. At a time in my group, we had a vehicle, and the vehicle got into an accident. And technically at the time, the driver of the vehicle had an alternative of a motorbike. So the vehicle crashed using a motorbike. But we still need a vehicle. Another individual was doing some business with another guy, and the guy offered him a vehicle, right? So him now would want to get the vehicle, but individually he cannot afford the vehicle. right? But because he's thinking that sometimes when you share your ideas, you lose out. You see where I'm coming from? So he did not bring it to the group. I now later heard from the man on the bike that the said individual would have offered them the vehicle. So he said, well, why you ain't take the vehicle? So I now gone to the guy pertaining to the vehicle. Gone over to Nevis, hear everything good. And I had to spend a night in Nevis because the owner of the vehicle doesn't want to create a problem. Because he offered driver A the vehicle first, he paid no, showed no interest. He then offered partner B, who said, yes, I want it, but partner B can't afford it. But instead of partner B coming to the group and saying, well, the Belgian offered him the vehicle, if we could facilitate him the funds to get the vehicle, right? He did not. So when I come in now and gone for the vehicle, the owner telling me now, by I did not offer A, you know, and A not study me. So right now I offer B. You check? So me now want to tell you yeah, and then B go feel away. You see where I'm coming from? So when I go to B,
But it should have been a group effort rather than on the individual basis.
right, but you see where I'm trying to come from. You see what I'm saying? So the power of the shrinking numbers. So we know as my group now, technically, if a man wants to do something, right, you come to the group, we agree to facilitate the funds, and you return the funds.
And it comes to the benefit of all.
Come to the benefit of all, because if it's a vehicle, once you acquire the vehicle, you are able to move produce for any one of the members. You see where I'm coming from? So whereas now, we could have had that vehicle.
But I find that's a problem that we have in our society, in that people like to do things in a selfish way, me and mine alone.
And not sometimes in a selfish way.
But sometimes, see, we still stand by, and we look at other groups. I don't want to call the name of any groups, but we look at other groups who come in from overseas, and we observe that they all work together.
Right.
Even though they're in a foreign country.
Right.
They don't come and set up a shop here and I provide my own orders for stock. Right? Everybody in the local community belonging to that group all together.
Right.
And they all work together.
Right.
A downside to that is you don't see a lot of locals employed in their establishments.
Right.
But that's because they work together as a group.
Right.
And they come together to make sure that they minimize costs on an individual basis and maximize profits
on a collective
basis.
But you see why I say sometimes that we try to work personally to it, because, for example, and we see it a lot of times, you go to an institution with your idea or your plan, right? And they reject you. But then you see somebody else coming out with your plan or your idea. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes, again, you come, so be the case, and they look down on you. You know what I mean? They will go, no, that's too good for you. You see where I'm coming from? So sometimes you want to do your thing by yourself because you don't know people are nice. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I still try to put the point where persons have to be held accountable for their actions. You see what I'm saying? So if is it that, for example, 10 of us farming in this area, and we know we have land preparation problem, right? We got tractor problems because we depending on the government. And we know the tractor don't come when we want it come, it'll break down fast. We know the issues. So we want a tractor in the area. So the plan is the tractor costs $100,000. The bank is going to give us the money if we could put up, let's say, 10%. So that's $10,000. So that's $1,000 per man. right? And every month, we got to contribute $100 to service the payment, right? If that's the plan, everybody should comply and be a part of the plan. You
And
cannot
it
want.
makes it easier for each person.
Yes, instead of I having to go take $100,000 to go get the tractor,
And put up $10,000.
right? And put up $10,000. And when I get the tractor, I still got to come have a Ulan. And when he brought down pan Ulan, you not give me nothing to help fix the tractor. No. Let me hold on for me $10,000 because you hold on for your one, and we put 1,000 each, and we do it together. Because at the end of the day, the tractor gonna work for me, it gonna work for you. You see where I'm coming from? So these are some of the things that I wish that we as the farming community could look at, because the government only got so much tractors, and they could only be in so much places at any given time. So we as the community, we have to find ways to come together to address our problems. If we cannot foot the bill ourselves, then this is where the government needs to lend support. You see what I'm saying? But it's not the government lending support in these areas, and they ain't seeing no return, they ain't seeing no progress. It's going to discourage them.
Okay, so you in Sandy Point, you have your Sandy Point Agricultural Co-op. Are there any other co-ops in the local community?
Yeah, there was this Sandy Point Fishermen Cooperative way back in the days. Fishing has somewhat dwindled in the community to where it's more individual. You don't see too much of the net boats like once ago. You know what I mean? The
But I'm
beach
sure I
itself has
heard
gone.
the minister responsible for the fisheries saying that there was this huge and significant increase in fish production over the last few years.
Well, there are bigger boats. Individual fishermen have bigger boats. People going far out. They have the fish aggregating devices, the FAT system. So there are different means and improved means of catching fish. So maybe less persons could catch more fish with more advanced technology. That's what I'm saying. But there's the fishermen carp. There's the one in Deep Bay that is trying to revive the Capisteer, not Deep Bay, but the Capisteer fishermen's carp that covers Sempas, Newgong, Deep Bay, those areas. There's also the Gideon Force Organic Cooperative in Old Road. There's also the Lagos Layamiga Agricultural Cooperative that's in Kayan. There's the St. Kitts Farmers Cooperative, which was the more umbrella cooperative back in the days, that encompass livestock, crops, and the whole works. There's the St. Kitts Agro Processors. They deal with agro processing, which is an area that lacks investment in this country. Big time, value added. Look at all the value added products that are coming from overseas. Tomato ketchup, tomato paste, and the amount of tomatoes that we produce and are not sold, that just go to the dog, that stays in the field, because the average processor processes from home. We do not have a factory, we do not have a set industrial facility where if I got tomatoes and they're not selling, like for example, there's an overproduction at this point in time, I could pick my tomatoes and carry them over here knowing that they're going to make sauce, they're going to make paste. So if I ain't going to make $3 a pound because they're selling fresh, but they're going to give me $1.50.
At least they don't just go to waste.
Because most of the food stays in the field.
These cooperatives, are they coming together to really do what is necessary for the smooth running of the agricultural industry?
They well, basically each CAP does its thing. The Department of Cooperative try to initiate activities to say where we can network. Like for example, the agro strip. I don't know if you would have heard about the agro strip, where the Verge and the Newtown Road, where we would set up the different cooperatives and collectively we put on an exhibition so you could come and support the different cooperatives. So things like that they do, you see what I'm saying? But outside of that, you don't find the cooperatives themselves working too closely to do things or to address problems. Well, we and Gideon Force, Sparks and Gideon Force, we work closely together. Most of us are Rasta, Rasta to Rasta. But any other cooperative, once they solicit our support, we openly lend our support. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, it is in general, not just farming. In general, the country, we look to the government. We elect them, and they're supposed to provide and do a certain amount of things, right? But that doesn't mean that we not supposed to do anything
for ourselves.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when we find whatever we are doing, we're not getting the support from them. This is where we're supposed to solicit, and they're supposed to lend the support. But there should be more initiatives coming from us and the government lending us the support, not the government coming up with all these things and want we to jump on board and support them. That's just my take.
Now, coming back to the SPACs itself now, I remember at some early on you had mentioned that SPACs do donations, food donations to preschools and elderly homes and that sort of thing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, from time to time, especially when production is good, we would drop off packages at the nurseries, like the government nursery opposite the hospital, the one up at Cleverly Hill, the Lighthouse, and the different nurseries, so they have food to cook for the children. We would do the elderly homes. We would do 1 and 2 elders in the community, like, for example, customers who would have come and no longer come because they're not able and so forth. We would eventually drop off food for them from time to time, lunch and so forth.
That's a good community service.
Yeah, organizations, whenever they reach out to us for donations, we always try our best to honor them. Churches, when it comes to Palm Sunday and Harvest, we usually try to honor the requests. And as I mentioned, we got the scholarship program running at the Charlie Emile Secondary School for quite a number of years. So a good bit of students could say that they would have received a token compliments of the organization for their academic success in agriculture.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, but to close, because I think the time
is coming down.
Just want to remind persons that we are doing our Youth in Agriculture Summer Initiative. It's every Saturday from 3 to 6. You gather at the market, and then we transport the youth to the farm. This year we are focusing on propagation, grafting, ear layering, budding, and those type of skills. Coming up on the 17th, we want to invite you to the African village to celebrate the life of Marcus Messiah Garvey. The activities start from 2 and they go down until 7. You got poetry, you got drumming, you got speeches, you got music, live performances, and refreshments on sale. And on the 24th, the Brimstone Hill Emancipation Festival. People, this is always a nice family event. It's a spectacle to be up on top of the hill. You know what I mean? So don't miss it out. Sunday, 24th, 3 to 6. SPACs will be there. Sugartown Organics will be there. Many other vendors will be there, you know what I mean? Lots to eat and drink. Lots to enjoy. And I heard Jazzy D is going to be performing.
Yes.
Yeah, kudos to Jazzy D. So people, please come out and give Jazzy her flowers. You know what I mean? She's one that keep live nostalgia program and, you know what I mean, keep the old school vibes going. So come on out and show us some love, you know? Give thanks.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I want to add my encouragement to everyone to attend these functions. And also, what you didn't mention was the World Food Day, 15th annual World Food Day.
15th annual World Food Day food fair and agricultural exhibition coming up on the 18th of October. It's going to be the 4th staging of the high school cook-off. You know what I mean? Rep your school. So stay tuned. More information coming soon. We're going to get a jam-packed entertainment lineup. Lots to do, lots to eat. Mark it on your calendar, 18th October.
Wonderful. And if anyone wants more information about SPACs, yeah, sure. You have a call?
Good.
Hello, caller. Good day.
morning. Yes, good morning.
Go right
Good
ahead.
morning, good day. And also the gentleman who is giving a rundown on the
Yes, Mr. Lionel
agriculture
Stevens.
Morning, sir.
event. Mr. Stephen, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm good,
Uh,
thanks.
all right. I like your commentary. I like your perspective. And the part that I heard, and I will embrace my support. Let me tell you who I am. I am Winston Welcome. I don't know if you heard of the independent candidate that is challenging number 8 constituency.
No, that's news to me.
Okay. It's been out for a while. I don't know who gravitated to it or who heard it. But yes, indeed, I am the candidate of independency. But I'm not saying it will be only one independent person. There will be independent. And it's only to collaborate. One independent cannot run the country, even if they win their seat. But I'm looking forward for other independents to join the movement, and we take the country from there because we need change. But the point that you are making, I heard you mention about collaboration with a tractor. I believe government should be that leading partner in supplying these things because the thing is, our country needs to be food sustainable. Okay? And the farmers alone cannot drag this through or go through this alone. So in terms of those expenses, government could provide the tools and partner with the farmers to cultivate and till the soil, whether it's tractor or other equipment required. I am an agricultural person too, so I am 100% in. But I'm asking the people of the Federation of St. Kitts. By the way, I'm in the United States, and I came here for a purpose like this time, so that I come back with knowledge and leadership, so I can lead my people into a real sustainable federation. I've heard the other gentleman in Nevis, Banky, so I guess all of you are aligned. And I support, like I said, the whole agriculture system. It is one natural thing we can do. All we have to do is take use of that opportunity. But government should take the responsibility for the tools that require to till the soil and make production. And not only that, even seeds. Because we need food, and without food we go hungry.
Okay, we're getting close to the end of the program, so we need to wrap up, please. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm going to wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we got to focus on the water and the food sustainable. I will leave it there. I hope next time I will be around to.
Okay, it's a pity you called in that late, but
part.
thank you very much for your call, and we do appreciate it. And look out for us on the program next time, and do feel free to call in and make your contribution as necessary. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, that brings us to the end of our program today. This edition of Heritage Matters. We thank all of you for listening. I want to thank my guest here, Mr. Lionel Stevens, for a very interesting discourse that we had, and also to Ms. Tessa Isaac, who was with us earlier, talking about the Brimstone Hill Emancipation Festival on Sunday 24th, inviting all to attend and be treated to a wonderful Sunday afternoon of cultural and heritage entertainment, and the vendors who will be attending selling their produce. Please make sure you walk with enough money to support them all and to enjoy a wonderful time out. And so thank you all very much for being a part of this, and we look forward to being here in the next 2 weeks on Heritage Matters.
The South 98.9. Win FM.
Ready to save while you build? Now you can at Builders Paradise. Yes, shoppers, build up your Value Club points at Builders Paradise. That's right, Value Club members and shoppers, your favorite frequent buyer club is now available at the home of hardware and more. Whether you're laying tiles, painting walls, replacing doors, upgrading windows, or fixing up your home, every purchase at Builders Paradise now earns you Value Club points. Enjoy exclusive benefits like discounts on thousands of items, special savings for seniors, instant deals, quarterly rebates, plus an extra up to 2% off every quarter. Shop more, save more, earn more, only at Builders Paradise. Don't miss out. Start building your rewards today with Value Club at Builders Paradise, because every bolt, board, and brush brings you closer to bigger, better savings. Terms and conditions apply.
Flow customers, unlock big prepaid rewards every time you activate a prepaid plan. Activate a 7-day plan or higher and earn points towards your rewards. Activate again, earn even more points. Activate next week, well, you get the picture. The more you activate, the more extra data and prizes you earn. Get in on the big prepaid rewards. Dial *129 # or visit topupflow.com to activate a prepaid plan today.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news.
Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by The Grange and Carry Brewery.
Cost of care per hour, the most cost of care per hour, the most
crisp taste of this beastly cold beer, scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the willy cold beer, scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure.
Judicial measures internationally. Redrawing U.S. election map. California calls a special election for November.
Now the details.
The Grange Healthcare Facility, a cornerstone of senior care in St. Kitts and Nevis, proudly marked its 25th anniversary on August 14th, 2025, with a celebration and awards ceremony. The esteemed event was held under the patronage of the Governor-General, Her Excellency Dame Marcella Liebert, highlighting the facility's significant contribution to the nation's healthcare landscape. The commemoration served as a moment to reflect on 2 decades and a half of unwavering commitment to providing high-quality care for the elderly. During her poignant reflections, Pat Richards, leader, shared the remarkable journey of the institution from its nascent